what is the reality of it when you see, there are guys who probably do come into this, hoping to be in this business, and they're thinking, oh, I'm a big guy, I played football, I pushed weights or whatever. This should be, easy for me. Everything I've read, everything I've learned, and from the wrestlers I've spoken to, the stars, completely different. This is a completely different beast to be in, especially if you plan on doing this not even once a day. You could be doing it twice or 3 times a day, and that doesn't even add in all the traveling you have to do.
Yeah, for sure. The way we approach it here, well, the way I approach it with Mr. Ishikawa is a professional wrestler is a professional athlete. And although it's not, true competition, you have to view it like a professional athlete. And you have to train multiple times a day. I give everybody the minimum of 10 times. So if you're doing weights 5 times a week, that's 5. And if you're going to practice 3-4 times a week, and you should have a couple other things to kind of supplement it, and some boxing, some wrestling. And a lot of guys think it's, there's that movie from Semi-Pro with Will Ferrell, where he's like, I watched it on TV. I figured it looked pretty easy. I could do it. And that's what a lot of guys come here, and that's their mentality. Like, I'll do it a couple times a week, and I'll learn it. And when I break it down to them, I'm like, no, this is a serious commitment. You have to. Your whole life has to revolve around this. From the moment you get up to, from your first meal to your last meal and supplements, you have to treat yourself like a professional athlete and out-train everybody else. And those are the guys. You have to become obsessed with wrestling and watching old footage. And I used to watch DVDs while I do cardio and stuff like that. And you have to really jump in it and be a student of the game.
That's what I want to get into, because to me, I think the true elements are cardio, charisma, and hunger for this game to be successful.
You have to be hungry. In fact, it's like survival of the hungriest. And that's one thing I can't teach. I can give everybody the resources and the expertise and, provide the facility. But, it's like instant superstar, just add hunger.
Well, let's talk about the simple thing. And we were talking about this off of camera a little while ago. Just bouncing off the ropes or, hitting the mats. You were saying that it took you forever just to, your head to stop shaking and not having that headache all the time.
That's one aspect of it, is how much stress it puts on the brain, which is why, a lot of wrestlers now are donating their brain for CTE research, for the concussion stuff. But even without concussions, just the pains that you wouldn't expect. I didn't expect hitting the ropes to hurt as much as it did, because I did like a little bit of training before I came to Battle Arts, and they were using steel cable wrapped in like garden hose. That hurts. Like, it's so painful. And when we used to do drills, like we call them blow up drills, where it's designed to just completely gas you, when you're doing a crisscross on the ropes, one person running one way, one person running the other way, and you're hitting those ropes, probably about 100, 200 times in a row, that hurts. And it's something you do get used to, but that learning curve is a steep learning curve.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. When I first, sometimes we do like bachelor parties and stuff here, where they'll come in, they'll do like an hour training lesson, and their faces when they hit the ropes are like, oh, that's a little more uncomfortable than I thought it would be. Yeah. And when I went down to OVW, I had never run the ropes before. At our school with Don Koloff, we didn't run the ropes, really. It was more of a shoot style. In Japan, we didn't run the ropes. It was, that battle art style. And then I go to OVW, and we're running the ropes, and I go, there's no way that's just a bruise. I think something's torn. There's no way that is way too painful. And it was just a bruise. I developed a callus to it that I kind of still have today. I can run the ropes, and it doesn't hurt. But when you start, it definitely hurts, yeah.
How much can you teach a young man like this, especially knowing that he's going to go to territories, he's going to go to areas, he's going to go to different countries where sometimes wrestlers like to take advantage of young rookies and to make themselves look good. And, wrestling is supposed to be about working with each other. Sometimes you have wrestlers that don't think that same way.
Yeah, well, they can take advantage of you in 2 ways. One, they can take advantage of you physically and just take over. If you're not strong, you don't have a shoot background. I mean like a real fighting background. And that's one of the reasons why I want guys to do catch wrestling and judo and Muay Thai. So they have the ability, if someone is physically taking advantage of them in the ring, to grab something throw a guy, put a hold on, and say, okay, are we good? Are we going to work now? Or, but also they can also take advantage of you just in planning the match. Some guys like to plan it and go over it, and they could trick you with a storyline. And sometimes you've done the match, and you're like, damn, I didn't really do anything. I got beaten up in there. And I should have spoken up. I knew I should have spoken up. But we do discuss those things and kind of how to positively respond to somebody and not, because if you come off too strong, okay, for example, if you give me an idea and I say, nah, I don't like that idea. But if I say, I like that, but maybe we can even add this to make it even better and kind of thing. And you have to be able to collaborate. And that's a skill, believe it or not, that a lot of guys don't even think they need. And they get here, then they realize you have to be able to work together with people and, come up with something that you're both happy with. And if you're, not necessarily that, but you have that alpha male mentality and you want your character, even though it's not real, guys do like to win. And guys do like to be the guys that are doing the cool moves and not getting beaten up. And we have to deprogram a lot of guys when they come in here to be able to say, look, it's just as phony when you win as when you lose. And those are the infamous words of Mr. Rip Rogers, who was my coach. And he said, look, leave your judo background at the door. This is not competition. This is entertainment. And it helped me a lot. So I'm trying to, instill that in these guys.
Where do you want to be, my friend? In the wrestling business, where do you hope to be in 10, 15 years from now? Are you hoping that one day you could have a world championship around your waist, or maybe something that our friend has done here, which is the Intercontinental Championship, U.S. Championship? He's done it all. You could be following in his footsteps.
I know it sounds like a very cliche answer, but I want to be where I'm ready to be. I'm not a fan of, if they were to, the last thing I would want would be to be rocketed up. Like somebody comes in, say I put on 30 pounds and I'm looking great, and they go, you know what, he looks great, put him in, but I'm not ready, and then I whiff that, and then my opportunity's gone. Or, I really sour a relationship. Ideally, I would love to be ready to go up in 10 years' time. And personally, one of the championships I've always loved the look of, regardless of incarnation, I've always loved the lineage of, was the Intercontinental Championship. So that's a personal goal of mine.
Fantastic. What do you think your chances are, as you know him right now? What do you think his chances are in the future to hopefully one day represent Canada as an Intercontinental Champion or maybe even a World Champion?
Yeah, his chances are very good. He mentioned putting on some weight. And right now, everybody has a different prescription. Some guys got to slow down. Some guys got to lose weight because they're too fat. Some guys got to put on muscle mass, and that's his case. Some guys have to change their attitude and personality in terms of getting along in a locker room. Everybody has a different prescription. So his is that gain some weight and kind of grow up and look a little more mature and capable as a man kind of thing. He still has that nice young boy look.
I'm trying to grow the facial hair. I've bought so much castor oil. It's going to be put to use.
What advice can you give him and anybody else who hopes to enter the squared circle one day? Hopefully they can walk that aisle, and hopefully they will have a belt around their waist.
Yeah, if you're someone that hasn't started training yet, I would say definitely get an amateur background in something. Generally, you cannot be a professional athlete in any sport without being an amateur in that sport first. Rip Rogers always uses the analogy, like I called up the Celtics, the head office. I say, I'd like to be a pro basketball player. And they said, did you ever play basketball before? And I go, no, but I figured you guys would train me from scratch. So it's the same thing. That's what guys are coming in asking to do. Like, I've never done any sports before, but I want to be a professional wrestler. So go to the local Y, Google a judo club or wrestling club and get that jiu-jitsu too, and get that background as an amateur athlete. And then we'll graduate to professional athlete.
Anybody who wants to join up here or learn more, just come down here just to get fit. What's the information? Where do they go? Website and all this stuff?
Yeah, battleartsacademy.ca. The best thing to do, honestly, is come in, walk through the doors, get the feel for it. It has a. If you walk in, you'll know immediately this is a place I've always dreamt about. This is for me. I want to be here. We have it's at 6 o'clock. It's family time. We got kids training and their parents losing weight and working out. 7 o'clock we got amateur athletes, and then 8 o'clock we got some professional fighters and professional wrestlers and stuff. So as the night progresses, so does the intensity, and it's awesome, man. My high school is literally across the street, and this is my neighborhood. So come on in. Everybody gets a free week to feel that if this is my place. We're not like hard sells here, you know. You walk in and you have an open door policy. You can come in and leave during your first week. And if you don't want to sign up, that's no problem. But if you love it, we're here for you.
Fantastic. Gentlemen, thank you so much for this interview. And Anthony, I said, man, thank you for all the great interviews and everything you've done in the ring. And my friend, congratulations on this new journey that you're taking. And hopefully, like I said, who knows, man, WrestleMania, you could be in the main event. You never know.
Thank you very much, Rudy.
I want tickets.